Before this video starts, I'd just like to preface it by saying there will be 5 additions to this video. The first being tanks, the next one being DPS, then supports, then future characters, and then finally a team-ups edition. All these will come out sequentially this week, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday there will be a video. And then finally, a full compilation video will be coming out next Monday. So if you want to wait until then to watch it all in one go, be my guest. Otherwise, there will be a video coming out every single day this whole week. Thank you. So, a few weeks ago, I dropped a video titled What If DC Made Rivals Instead of Marvel? In that video, I got a comment saying I should do the same concept about anime. Being somewhat of an anime fan, watching things like Yu-Gi-Oh!, Naruto, Demon Slayer, JJK, and a handful more, I thought, why not? In this video, I'll be doing pretty much the exact same thing. If you haven't watched the DC version, I highly suggest watching that video before this. With that being said, I want to basically introduce a roster with new roles for Naruto characters for a 6v6 hero shooter where you team up with other ninjas to fill up your squad. The roles will not be named tank, damage, and support, but will have a ninja variant that are exactly that role, just to fit in the more ninja theme. I will do the same launch roster of 33 characters, including 8 vanguards, 18 duelists, and 7 strategists. Before I begin, no, I will not be including every single Naruto character in this list. I'm sorry if your favorite didn't make the cut. This is all my opinion, and the way Rivals works right now is that they have a base launch roster, and they'll add more characters as the seasons go on. They just added the Fantastic Four in Season 1, so the same can be said in this hypothetical game as well. If you don't see them now, that doesn't mean they won't come later. For abilities, I will not let everyone throw Shuriken and Kunai since literally anyone will be able to do that. Common abilities will not be reused if implemented. I'm not going to go super in-depth and name every jutsu, so I would like to apologize for that ahead of time. Also, I will not be mentioning all the Akatsuki on the launch roster, but enough of its members to satisfy your needs. None of the Otsutsuki will be brought up since they're aliens, and this is really just going to be Naruto and Shippuden only. Nothing regarding Boruto. Alright, let's get this thing going. You may be confused seeing this section titled Guardian Ninjas, but it is supposed to be the Naruto version of the historically named tank role. I was going to go the route of naming it either Shield Barrier or even Protector Ninjas, but Guardian Ninjas just spoke out to me the most. They play the same role of providing protection for your team while also making space. They have the largest health pools, and with that, I want to revolve around shield making ninjas and overall overpowered ninjas who fit better in this role. First on the list is Gaara. Him being the Jinchuriki of Shikaku, the one-tailed beast, you have to put him in as a Guardian Ninja. He's a walking tank. I remember watching the OG Naruto and first seeing this dude not take a single hit from his shield of sand and even use his sand binding coffin to murk people. For his kit, I want to revolve heavily around his use of sand manipulation. He carries a gourd full of sand that provides a layer of defense as a passive overshield. He should have abilities like his sand binding coffin to trap enemies from distances, as well as a sand waterfall funeral where he does a slam on them, crushing the ninja. He should also have the Shield of Sand as an ability to basically bring up a shield in front of him like Doctor Strange would, but made of sand. Another ability could incorporate sand walls to protect allies or control the space like Groot does. His melee weapons could be sand swords if enemies get too close, and his ultimate could transform Gaara into Shikaku. If that's too powerful, we could easily swap the ultimate to the previously mentioned Sand Waterfall Funeral as an AoE. I think Gaara would be a perfect tank, and having him is a no-brainer in the Guardian Ninja role. He makes space, protects his team, creates shields, and has good damage potential for pressure. You can't have a Naruto game and not bring up the GOAT himself, Jiraiya. Being one of the legendary Sannin and the strongest out of all 3, he should definitely be a Guardian Ninja. His status and experience alone are enough to grant him the Guardian Ninja role, and I don't even have to explain why. He's one of the most resilient ninjas in the whole Naruto universe, holding his own against the 6 paths of pain and even tanking Naruto in his 4-tailed form. So, for his abilities, we obviously gotta focus on his toad summons. Not just that, I want to incorporate his ability to control an area by summoning a toad's esophagus, like shown when he went up against Kisame and Itachi. This would have to be nerfed since this is a 6v6 hero shooter, and a lot of everyone's kits would need to be nerfed. Maybe instead of that, we could use his ability to spit oil from his mouth as a means of slowing down movement if an enemy ninja walks on it. Maybe as a primary fire, we actually use his ability to shoot a blast of fire, and any area with oil on it will create a temporary firewall that explodes and does damage. His hair should definitely be used as a defensive shield and can even have a mechanism to shoot out if charged with chakra for being attacked, this being a sort of needle shot similar to Hazard from Overwatch. I want to have a little more Toad action since he is the Toad Sage, by letting him summon actual Toads as walls that will heal him if standing beside the wall as the Toads gather natural energy to increase his chakra or health levels. Finally, for Jiraiya's ultimate, I can't decide if I want him to summon Gamabunta or go Sage mode with enhanced speed, agility, movement, jumping, and power. Either of these can work, but I'll leave that up to the viewers. Jiraiya is another obvious Guardian Ninja since he can tank so much damage and apply immense pressure while protecting his team. Alright, don't get mad I included 2 of the 3 legendary Sannin as Guardian Ninjas. You gotta hand it to Orochimaru. This dude has done so many body modifications to the point where he's immortal. Originally, I wanted to put him in as a medic ninja, but you'll understand why I didn't once you get to that point. Because of his form changing to survive virtually anything, I want to incorporate a 2-body system as an ability. Essentially, 2 lives similar to both Bruce Banner and the Hulk, and a transformation like D.Va from Overwatch as well. The second form comes in the form of a white snake only able to do melee bite damage that can recharge him to his original body once enough chakra or charge is built up, acting as the ultimate in a way. If he does die in the snake form, he will release a poisonous gas that will inflict damage over time to anyone in a small radius nearby the dead body as a means of still acting as a guardian ninja from beyond the grave. One of his abilities should be to summon Rashomon gates to act as shields to protect himself and his squad. A passive should allow for snake-like movement to move undetected unless attacked. This would be a passive after a few seconds where his lower half can turn into a snake if out of combat, which could be seen as a little overpowered for the team, but that movement would be rare to see as a Guardian Ninja would need to protect their squad. Another ability could be a paralyze that temporarily stuns an enemy ninja when connected. I can't forget about his Sword of Kusanagi that is extremely long and is in his throat, which can be extended super far. Maybe that could be his melee, or a primary fire, or another ability that acts as a long distance attack. Since he can summon snakes, I want to have another ability that revolves around firing snakes from his sleeves that can attack nearby enemies similar to Penny Parker's spider bots. His ultimate should either summon Manda, or let him do the 8 branches technique to become an 8-headed serpent. Just because he's so iconic for this, I would also love an ability that gives a curse seal to anyone nearby when used, obviously on a cooldown. This would either poison a ninja or explode. Orochimaru's focus on snakes would be an interesting choice for a guardian ninja, but centralizing his kit around maneuverability and a majority of close range attacks would deem a super strong tank that also has a wide variety of shields and long range attacks to protect his team. The second life mechanic is necessary for him because of his immortality in the series. Might Guy as a guardian ninja? Yeah, you might be confused why I chose a primarily taijutsu user as a tank. Let me explain. He'd play like a more agile Hulk since he would primarily use melee base attacks. Revolving his abilities and primary fire around punches and kicks would be difficult. He would definitely need the 8 gates to be his ultimate and do the Night Guy Forbidden Taijutsu. One of his abilities could be a space-making punch that does more knockback than damage. Actually, kind of identical to Doomfist's Rocket Punch ability from Overwatch now that I think about it. There should also be a stun, so that he can follow up with more attacks if needed, or choose to regroup with a squad of ninjas. His melee could incorporate his nunchaku if needed. I just think having Might Guy as a guardian ninja would be an interesting role for him, since he is able to tank so much damage and his taijutsu is unrivaled, even being recognized by Madara himself for how strong he is. Yeah, you guys are gonna hate me, but I want Shino Aburame as a guardian ninja. Think about it. Yes, all his jutsu revolve around his insects called Kikaiju. He feeds them his chakra, nesting them, and they follow his orders. He can use them to stun as an ability in the form of a cage and absorb enemy chakra over time, increasing his own health pool. His primary fire could be on a burn meter, sending the insects to swarm enemies to do damage similar to Moira's animation for healing. This would provide him with more chakra and therefore overhealth. Additionally, he could make insect dome shields for himself and his allies as another ability. The only difficult part of his kit to incorporate would be his ultimate, which could honestly just be an insect swarm that does AoE damage to anyone in the area, while also providing a defensive shield where less damage is taken by allies within a huge dome. I think he would work extremely well as a tank in the Guardian Ninja role, since he can focus on a lot of shield work and protection. Kisame is my favorite member of the Akatsuki, and he fits the guardian ninja role perfectly. Being one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist, he wields Samihara, the hardest sword to wield of them all. He's a monster of the hidden mist, and it's considered the tailed beast without a tail. That just goes to show he was a force to be reckoned with. Unfortunately, he killed himself, but he was such a G for that. No one else killed him, even when he was captured for interrogation. Honestly, he would play like a tanky magic, using Samihara to strip chakra, strengthening his own abilities and maybe even providing overhealth the more damage he does. He's definitely going to be an up close and personal guardian ninja to pressure the enemy squad. One of his abilities should let Kisame fuse with Samihara to recharge his health the more chakra he absorbs. Going further with the fusing, Kisame should fuse fully with Samihara as his ultimate and go full shark mode, giving him a water prison shark dance technique to drown opponents in water. He would just be a menace in this form. His water release techniques could be abilities, trapping enemies in water, or releasing sharks as summons, maybe even using domes as shields to protect his squad. He could play similarly to Jeff the Shark with similar movement, jutting out of the ground and can be hit while in this swimming form. His water prison technique could be a self-destruct mechanism passive that would trap nearby enemies in his water dome, slowing movement, and he would do a 1,000 feeding sharks technique, where he commits suicide while allowing the sharks to do inflicting damage on anyone in the water dome with him. Kisame fits this role perfectly, albeit mainly focusing on survivability as a solo tank, but he can still protect with water domes and shields. But as a guardian ninja, his main technique would be to pressure the enemy squad of ninjas and create space for his team. No, I'm not trolling by bringing Temari in on this list when I already got Gaara as a guardian ninja. Don't get it twisted, Temari is one hell of a kunoichi. Put some respect on her name. Her whole kit would revolve around her wind release and her iron fan. She would use it as a shield, able to walk around with it up. Additionally, she could make space by creating a huge gust of wind, pushing enemies back or pulling them in, similar to Sue Storm's ability. Another ability would give her a mobility option by gliding on the fan, jumping up and hovering on it. Maybe incorporating a long range attack, she could do the sickle weasel technique to do piercing wind damage. Her primary fire and melee can be fan slams to anyone nearby. She'd be most similar to Captain America, having a walk-up shield and really needing the team to be focused around her. For her ultimate, we need to get a little creative with it. She should summon Kamatari, a one-eyed weasel, and create wind torrents together that will make a total of 3 tornadoes that go in chosen directions. Each tornado will be shot separately, and you will choose where they go. These will do knockback as well as both inflicting and piercing damage, going through multiple enemies. One tornado will not be enough to kill a full health ninja, but all 3 in rapid succession will do the job. Although there is a windup and time in between, so there is enough time to react. Temari would be a unique guardian ninja, bringing a new take on a tank role. The ghost of the Uchiha, the one and only. Madara Uchiha has got to be a guardian ninja simply because he is a one-man army. He's the biggest menace in all of Naruto. I don't care what you have to say. Bro is a literal god-level threat. He's going to be arguably the most nerfed character on this list because of how broken he is. I mean, everyone is getting nerfed, but he's on another level. He's going to sound so stupid the way I'm making his kit. I want his main weapon to be his trademark gunbai, acting as a shield and doing damage with it. Give him the ability to do fire releases to do both damage and create smoke screens. The gunbai would also repel enemies and projectiles by waving powerful gusts in the area of attack. Bro, look, Madara has the Mangekyo Sharingan, and I have no idea how to incorporate everything he has without just breaking the game. I just want to apologize again, because this version of him is so disrespectful to that legend. He's just too broken, man. Honestly, just give him everything. Give him a Susanoo that can shield him and block damage from his squad. His ultimate could just summon the Ten Tails. I don't even want to fully visualize his kick because of how much hate I would get by nerfing him. The dude is just insane. And he needs to be a guardian ninja even though he solos the whole Naruto verse. But to really flesh him out, like I said before, give him the gunbai as a shield and melee weapon, which can do an ability to push people back with a gust of wind. Let him have fire release projectiles and smoke screens. I would love to see his perfect Susanoo as an ability, as crazy as that sounds. Summoning the Ten Tails would be his ultimate. Simple, effective, broken. Alright, let's wrap this video up. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you guys liked the list I had, if I missed any ninjas, if you think I should have incorporated other jutsus or other ninjas, stuff like that. Personally, my favorite ninja that I talked about was Gaara, the first on the list. If you guys had any other favorites, let me know down in the comments. And tomorrow, look out for the DPS edition of this video. Thanks for watching.